All right, let's get right into it. We have all been there, right? You're driving down a road, like the back of your hand, the sky just opens up, and suddenly everything feels a little off, a little uncertain. Well, this is all about turning that uncertainty into real confidence by actually understanding what's going on when the road gets wet. And isn't that the truth? It's kind of amazing how fast it happens. One second, you're on familiar, predictable pavement, and the next, it's a completely different world out there. That's the feeling, that's the shift we're talking about.
You'd think it would be simple, Water on the road makes it slippery. End of story. But it's actually way more complex than that. So what is it that makes a simple rainstorm so incredibly treacherous? We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden mechanics that most people never, ever think about.
So, let's start with what is, and this might surprise you, one of the most dangerous moments of the entire storm, the very beginning.
Yeah, see, that first little bit of rain, it doesn't wash anything away. What it actually does is mix with all the oil, the dust, and the grime that's been building up on the pavement, and all of that stuff combines to create this greasy, basically invisible film that is unbelievably slippery. We're talking extremely low friction. And here's what that actually means for you behind the wheel. Just look at this chart. When the road is wet, your braking distance doesn't just get a little bit longer. No, it can easily double or even triple compared to when it's dry. That is a huge, huge loss of your safety margin. So the takeaway here is that safety doesn't start when you feel the car begin to slide. It starts way before that, before you even put the key in the ignition. So let's talk about the checks you can do that are your absolute first line of defense. These 4 things right here, they're basically non-negotiable. We're talking about a quick check of your tires, making sure your wipers and washer fluid are good to go, checking your lights, and, this is a big one, getting your mind right for the drive ahead.
Let's just zero in on tires for a moment. Grab a quarter. It's the easiest check in the world. Stick it in the tread. If you can see all of George Washington's head, your tread is just too worn down. And here's why that's so critical. Those deep grooves in your tire are designed to do one thing: pump water out from underneath it. If there's no depth, there's no pumping. And if there's no pumping, there's no grip. It's that simple.
Now, this is the step that I think almost everyone skips. Before you even start the car, just make a conscious decision. Tell yourself, okay, I am going to drive slower. I'm going to leave way more space. Put the phone away. Not on silent, not in the cup holder, just put it away. And a quick peek at the weather radar, it can make all the difference in avoiding the worst of the storm.
Okay, so you've done your prep. You're ready. Now you're out there, on the road, and the rain is coming down. Let's get into the nitty-gritty techniques you need to use to stay in control.
Hey, remember that braking distance chart from a minute ago? Well, this is how you fight back against it. The normal 2 or 3 second following distance, forget about it. It's not nearly enough. In the rain, you need to back off and give yourself a minimum of 4 to 5 seconds. That is the buffer you need to stop safely.
All right, these are your new rules of the road. First, slow down, and I mean significantly. Every single thing you do, steering, braking, accelerating, it all has to be smooth, slow, and steady. Any sudden jerky movement can be enough to break the little traction you have. And this is critical. Low beam headlights on, and for goodness sakes, turn the cruise control completely off.
And if you're wondering why cruise control is such a terrible idea, here it is. The system's only job is to keep you at a set speed. So if your car starts to hydroplane, your wheels suddenly spin faster with no resistance. The car thinks it's slowing down, and what does it do? It hits the gas. It tries to accelerate you right into a much, much worse situation.
Which brings us to, frankly, 2 of the scariest things a driver can face in the rain. Let's talk about what happens when you completely lose grip and what to do when you come across deep water.
So what even is hydroplaning? It's not just a fancy word for skidding. It's what happens when there's so much water that your tires can't push it away fast enough. Instead, they actually lift up off the pavement and right on top of a thin layer of water. You are, quite literally, floating. No steering, no brakes. Total loss of control.
When it comes to hydroplaning, prevention is absolutely everything. And it all comes back to what we've been talking about. Slowing down, keeping those tires in good shape, doing your best to avoid big puddles of standing water, and yes, keeping cruise control off. Oh, and here's a great pro tip. Try to drive in the tracks left by the car in front of you. They've already pushed a bunch of the water out of the way for you.
But what if it happens? Okay, listen. Your gut reaction, every instinct you have is going to tell you to do the absolute wrong thing. So you have to fight it. Number 1, Stay calm. Take a breath. 2. Gently, slowly, take your foot off the gas. 3. Whatever you do, do not slam on the brakes. And 4. Look where you want the car to go and just make tiny, gentle steering movements in that direction until you feel the tires bite the road again.
Now, let's talk about flooded roads. There is one simple, powerful phrase that you need to burn into your memory. It's a mantra that saves lives. If you see water covering the road, no matter how shallow you think it is, turn around, don't drown.
And here is exactly why that is so important. It takes a shockingly small amount of water to get you into big trouble. Just 6 inches, about halfway up your tire, is enough to make you lose control or stall your engine. And a foot of water, a foot of moving water, can and will sweep most cars right off the road. It is just never, ever worth the risk.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. We've focused on what you can do to stay safe, but why does everything just grind to a halt for everybody the second it starts to rain? What's the anatomy of the classic rainy day traffic jam?
Well, it's really a perfect storm of factors, isn't it? First, nobody can see as well, so everyone slows down. Then, because we all need more room to stop, we leave bigger gaps between cars, which actually reduces how many cars can fit on the road. Throw in the fact that people just drive more hesitantly, plus a higher chance of fender benders, and boom, you've got gridlock.
So really, the big takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. When you understand the why that first rain is so slick, why your tire tread is so important, why cruise control is such a hazard, that's when it all clicks. You can transform that vague feeling of uncertainty into confident, proactive control of your vehicle.
And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on. If something as common as a rainstorm can totally change the physics of driving, what other everyday assumptions are we making when we get behind the wheel? What other normal things might be worth taking a much closer look at? Something to think about. Until next time, drive safe out there.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.